Hello and welcome to Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. Rebuild, restore, repair, refurbish, whatever you want to call it. So I have the power switch mounted in the cabinet now. I got a marquee light mounted in here now. Put a couple wire ties right here. This will be the power that comes up to the switch and then back from the switch. So we will busy working on that. I need to find nuts that go on these studs right here. I'm not quite sure the size. They might be 832. So I'd like to get the speakers in also, why it's kind of down here on its side. Let's see what's going on. Okay, so I'm gonna pull these metal pieces off the top here so I can just sand all the stains here off the wood. I gotta put a new brace on this side so it can be screwed to the floor of the cabinet. So I'm just going to be working on getting this ready to put back in the cabinet.
It's not even messy.
Alright fellas, got the speaker soldered, so ready to install. Okay, speakers are installed, guys. Alright fellas, this is a search. Well, that ain't gonna do it. Alright, so I have my power board here that I'm gonna mount to the cabinet. I got my power cord that plugs in. It comes in, got it tied down, comes over. I got the power wire coming out, hot wire, whatever you want to call it. It's gonna go through a fuse. Okay, your common's coming through and your field ground. Field ground branches off, goes into here. So then now I have this power wire and common wire, the white one, coming through and looping and feeding up. So on this side I got the power wire coming from the wall, the common wire, and then this third pin is the hot wire coming back down from the switch, will feed into here. Then the power will come through and into my power supply. This will be 120 volts, which I'll make a wire going to plug into here. That will power the monitor. It'll go up and plug into the monitor. This will plug into here and go up to my switch. Power going up to the switch, power coming back down from the switch, and a common going up. So when the switch is turned on, the marquee light will make a complete circuit. This says warning, no isolation transformer, check monitor if required. Meaning, if someone ends up with this cabinet after I'm done, this is on them. I'm wiring a 7400, so I don't need one. If I was wiring a 7000 or something, then I would be putting a, isolation transformer in. So, my thing is, I wanted to show you guys is I have Not enough hands. Let's see if I can do this here. Give me a second. Okay, so I have one lead here on my ground, the field ground, the round one. And I'm touching it. So I was making contact. So I got field ground coming in to this guy here. That's the outside edge of my power box. And then I have the field ground that will go up to the monitor. So you can see everything's field grounded the way it should be. Just with a lot less wiring, because I don't know why they had to make things so complex. Okay. Black, green, and white. And like, I always call this black wire the power wire. And the green would be your field ground, or earth ground, I guess. Excuse me. And this white I call a ground and or a neutral. And you can see here, you got line, which means this black one. The ground, which means this one. And neutral, which means this white one. So I put this little plug in here so I know the orientation of the plug. And then I'll snap the black, the green, the white in that order. And also when I do the other side, I will need to make sure it's keyed right for black, green, and white. When I key it, cut it to length and key it to this. The black and white can be switched in my opinion. I mean, it does work. But you would never want to switch, you know, this black power wire into the center here or anything like that. So you do need to be mindful of this type stuff. It would short out pretty good, guys. Maybe even make some smoke, or it definitely would pop your breaker. And just like that, I got a monitor plug. I don't know if I was recording. But anyways, the middle is the common, and the next one over from it is the feed wire. So I'm going to go ahead and finish pinning this now. So once I get it finished up, I'm going to turn the cabinet on, or I'm going to plug it in, and I hope the switch is off, because I want to be on video here and flip the switch on and get the marquee to come on, for the first life type thing. So I'll be back in a second. Pidge is helping me out. Alright, fellas, got it here. The switch does have a little on-off tag, and it is on off, but whether I had that orientated right, I don't know. So here it goes. I'm going to plug this in. Well, I hope I was recording. Okay. Got the box in and mounted. It's nice and solid again. So alright, guys. So I got the corner pieces bolted in. And got the switch wire all good. So I'm gonna start installing the monitor brackets. Alright, fellas. I remember reading that you needed this and that for your kick harness. So I ordered two, which I don't really care about. I read up here. It says player 3 harness are blue wires in a midway cabinet. Player 3 header on the game board. Player 3. The guy's asking about the kick harness. Now pin 1 is ground, and then you got 3 sets of wires and 3 sets of wires. Which I need. Well, I'd have the ground on pin 1. I need run, low kick, low punch. That would be 3 and 3, right? So is it only on player 3 for the kick harness, or do I need this player 4 one too? I'm not getting a decisive answer. Because when I look at the manual, it says like button D, or A, B, C, D, and then up, down, left, right, start, and ground on the pinout for the board. And then I would need both of these. I don't know. Forgot I had this. So this basically says down here, Ultimate Mortal Kombat connect to P12, which is this last connector. And then for player 1, it's orange, red, and brown. So that's 3 wires. Orange, red, and brown there in that group. And then we got yellow, green, and blue, which is here in this group. Yellow, green, and blue. So I guess I don't need this plug. Guess I'll save it for maybe a different game. Maybe, I don't know. Alright, I just wanted to kind of get an idea what was going on while I'm sorting wire, so I know what to group together. So we can see that pin 9 and pin K and pin 9 are not used in Mortal Kombat 3. Oh. Well, no wonder. Those are 8. What is 8? 8 is coin counter 1 and coin counter 2. Okay then, but I'm not going to install my coin counter. So I'm going to go ahead and unpin these anyways. Okay, if there's anyone out there who knows how a coin counter works, does this send the negative pulse to complete the circuit to make the coin counter work? Exactly how do they work? Or does it send the positive pulse? And you say you ground the coin counter to the ground. Does this send the positive to make it click? Or do you hook it to the positive and this sends the negative signal to make it click? Or is there something else entirely that I'm not understanding? I've piddled with one a little bit. I really don't see the need for me to use one, so I always unpin them. So if anyone knows, let me know, because if it's something that simple, I might hook one up once in a while. Alright guys, so I have the whole harness zip tied together and separated where I want stuff to go. And it's getting close to getting in the cabinet. Fire that thing up.
Again, I just recall, because it's been for years since my approval, and I just, of course, I know what they
Alright, here is the 7400 chassis that was rebuilt, and I'm going to take this and mount it now on the tube in the frame that was washed and get ready to put it inside the cabinet. Alright fellas, so I have the chassis mounted in the tube here, in the tube frame, and I always like to do my good luck scratching here. Perfect. I love to do the good luck scratch. Alright, as you can see, I got my JAMA connector on, my kick harness connector on. I've started pre-routing the wires. I have the power supply wired and keyed correctly, pinned correctly. I did turn the cabinet on and I set the voltage to, I think it was 5.058 at. Now that was at the plug, that wasn't on the board, so I just don't want to build it. I don't want to turn this on and have too much voltage there. I can always turn it up. So at the power supply was 5.058. When I first turned it on, it was like 6.25, something like that. So it was way too much. Anytime I get a new power supply, I always wipe the voltage pot back and forth several times through the full sweep. Operator gave me that tip one time, said that when I use a new power supply, I should wipe that pot back and forth several times. So I do. It doesn't hurt, so I figure the only thing it do is improve the voltage setting, Whether if it does or not, it's a different story, but it don't hurt. I still have to get the monitor in here so I can get the monitor cable, power cable at the right length, and then get it pinned to fit into that plug down there. This is my coin door wiring. This will have the service switch, the test switch. It has two grounds coming. One from the PCB for the switches, one from the power supply for the coin door lights, along with a 12-volt wire coming from the power supply, and then it'll have coin switch 1 and 2. So this is my coin door lead. I have the speaker lead, I have the RGB ground sync lead, and of course the power lead, and then the control panel section here. Individually into player 1 and 2, along with the corresponding kick harness wires grouped with them. So this will go to the control panel. So I'm going to go ahead and put the monitor in now. And there's something that I wanted to explain here in a second. Okay, so here's the monitor. Now, you guys remember that I kind of built this from a frame that was out in the TV farm, along with a consumer grade tube, and then your arcade chassis. This frame to the tube is still loose. I do that because I didn't take this out of a machine. So, it can move around a little bit. So when I first put it in the machine, I like it to be a little bit loose like that. So if it needs to move around to fit the studs, it can. So, if I would pinch this all together, it might plug up some of this hole. So if I leave it a little bit loose, it can wiggle in there, and then I can tighten the tube to the frame after the frame fits the cabinet. I always put a towel over any of the things I might scrape putting in a monitor. Alright, monitor's in. It's bolted down on all four corners to the bracket, but the tube is still able to be fine-tuned in here to the bezel. Now guys, I'm going to be real honest with you. I hope I got this bezel stuff right, and that it's not up too high or down too low and I can't compensate by moving the tube. So keep praying for that. Alright. Power cord's plugged in. That looks like about enough slacked on it. That's not overabundance or not enough. So I think that'll be pretty good. So I'll cut and make my I'll pin it into this connector right here so it can plug in there. When I was testing the DC voltage, I made sure that I had the 120 AC coming out there, and I do. So what else do I gotta do? I have to go ahead and figure out how I'm gonna run this RGB to the monitor and put a pin it and put a connector on here so it can be plugged into the monitor. So I'm going to be working on that, guys. And I truly think, so I get this pin down there, and this ran and pinned and plugged in. The DC voltage is already set, at least at the power supply. I think we can throw the switch and hopefully she comes to life. Okay. We got RGB, ground and sync. Time to pin it, guys. Then plug it in. I have a question for anybody that's watching this right now. Can you feel the excitement? Are you any excited at all? That, literally, I got this plug to make down here. And then the scene after that, we'll be flipping the power switch. So, hope you're getting excited. Alright, look at it. I don't know if any of you guys ever watch a show called Roadkill. They used to have Roadkill zip tie moments. There's my zip tie moment. Moving on to pinning the AC wire for the monitor. It's getting to be close to time, guys. Alright, guys. I believe I have all the connections I need to make this thing run. So, it's time, guys. Let me turn out my light. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Uh-oh. Does this really take that long? Seems a bit green. The screen does. That yellow really ain't yellow. It's greenish yellow. Oh, scary. Some decals issue or something. And that is super loud. Can this be from it being so moved around and not really degoused because it's the first time firing it up? I'm hoping so.
Round 1, fight! Get done.
Alright. Both speakers are working. Alright. I'm going to turn this off, let it sit for a while. Turn it back on and see if this little bit of discoloration goes away. Oh yeah. Alright, fellas. I'm going to end this video here, so like, subscribe, share, shit like that. Got marquee glass. I got the regular glass for the monitor. I got this railing here that I have to cut the size for the top of the marquee. You know, it holds it in. Still have the coin doors to do, which that will be the last thing I do, because I'm going to do these coin doors and Moon Patrol coin doors at the same time. So I ordered some parts from Arcade Parts and Repair, some 12-pin Molex connectors, so I can make the control panel able to be unplugged from the main wiring harness. I know I don't have to, but if anything ever needs to be done where the control panel has to be taken off, or the control panel box because of moving a machine or something, I can disconnect the control panel. So that's the end of this one, guys. It might be a little while. Like I said, I got to get some parts. So, alright. Peace.